Moving on with a Belgian adventure. We took the train. We met some Russian people somewhere in Germany. It was Hungary, I think Czechoslovakia. That's what it was called then. It wasn't separated between the Czech Republic and Slovakia. Germany, and then we went to Belgium. We arrived in Brussels, where Didier came to meet us, and we stayed with his family for a week, I think. Anyway, we did stay quite a lot, 2 or 3 weeks altogether. I hear in the meantime that his father has had a very nice man, both parents and the young man, who would return to Romania later, but they're not there yet. Even if, come to think of it, I may forget to include that part, so let's have it here. Especially since it's covering, this is Christmas. Merry Christmas, by the way, to our large audience. One year, I think we're talking 1990, and then maybe 1991. Didier came here by car. The white, was it Opel? I know his family was into Opel. They had a thing with a garage there, and he had an Astra, and then his father had a bigger one, the Opel Vectra hatchback. So came to Bucharest 91, and we took a sort of a wild trip in the mountains at a chalet. So we were to spend New Year's Eve somewhere in the area of Curtea de Argeș, I think. Unfortunately, the place was crowded. It wasn't just that you wouldn't have a bed to sleep in if you were to stay 2 days, and okay, you party all night on New Year's Eve, but then you have to rest. But there was something missing. There wasn't the right spirit. I don't know, the right people. We didn't enjoy it so much. Anyway, what we did was we moved to the house of a girl who was taking part there. And I'm thinking she was close by. It's interesting how this is so foggy. Was that a village? Was it in Curtea de Argeș? I have no idea. True, there was some drinking and there was merriment, and we joked and we sang and we laughed, and I remember we had a great time, really. It was yours truly, Madi, Adrian, and Didier. I guess these 4 people. Then this girl, the family, had us as guests for New Year's Eve. And then sometime the following day, we left for Bucharest. And what I remember, we had a sort of an accident on the highway as Didier was driving his car, or his parents' car, I'm not sure. We hit a deer crossed the road in front of the car. They couldn't push the brakes, but just jumped in front. I hope the animal was all right. Can't be anymore, because that's already 25 years ago? No, 30 years ago. So and I don't know how old they can be. Anyway, it wasn't fallen by the side of the road. It was, I think we saw it and it moved. A pity. It's it stayed in my mind, as I say now. And then he was gone, and we wouldn't see him anymore. Unfortunately, there was something happened. Adrian went to stay with them, and the feedback we got was not positive. They weren't happy with his stay. He stayed too long. I don't know. And the connections have been cut. Maybe it's also possible. It's true. It's very possible. Maybe more likely that this would have been this bond would have been severed anyway. Adrian there or not, long stay, imposing stay or not. I don't know. Now returning, there were some interesting things which happened in Bastogne. One that, well, the most obsessive, the most important aspect was not connected with Brussels, alas, with Belgium and the people there. It was the fact that this trip took place when I was still not over Queen of Beauty. In fact, I still hope there is a chance that we can get back together, that we can marry, actually. I wanted to marry her. And I was thinking maybe when she comes back from Moldova back to Bucharest for the beginning of the school year, she had eventually passed the exam for un NATC, the acting university. So that was a hope. True, the outlook was not good. She had returned from Las Vegas, I mentioned before in some other episode, that she has met somebody there. It looked like she liked it. She liked him. Anyway, that life, meeting the Jack Nicholson, she has some photos with Jack Nicholson and others, some stars, some rich people, wealthy, good-looking, affluent, happy, positive Americans, and so on. That had a huge impact. And I hesitate because I'm tempted to say it looked like it, but it's wrong to say it looked like. I think there was a certainty that she wouldn't be happy with this anymore. I mean, she was seeing what there is out there in the world, the creme de la creme, the high society, the luxury, the dazzling lights and people and parties and life in a different universe, if you will. No, it's like returning to a village, being able to see what life in the city can be with society, with jokes, with people, with and then going to stay in the countryside. That can have advantages. There's an article in The Economist on a village of, I don't know, 40 people or so in France, somewhere near the mountains. Zenitude. A woman there, when she's asked about solitude, so I think of it as zenitude. So anyway, the idea was that it's over, but I still hope. But maybe let's still be friends. We went as friends to the park, to the Herstro Park when she was studying. after she had returned from this Las Vegas dream world, heaven, paradise on earth. And we did get along. I remember even having some sort of sex in the park. I mean, as she was there, and I'm a bit embarrassed. I don't know why. Usually I say all those crazy things, but I did some things while we were there. So from that point of view, maybe there was some hope. So anyway, while in Belgium, I kept calling, trying to speak with her, thinking about her, and what if? So while going to meet some important people, at one point there was an idea of doing something with business men. There were mostly men who were in the cable domain, and that had not yet started here. And if we had done that, we would be rich today, because okay, they have a dominant player, RCS, who's providing the cables, the TV, and all the rest here. RCS, who's worth, I don't know, $2 billion. We wouldn't be that. Let's stick with being a smaller player, doing some things here, or who knows, maybe in some other place if they decided, and start with Cluj, whatever. Those smaller players that have been absorbed and still had millions and millions of dollars in their pockets when they sold their business. So that was. On the other hand, that's not the secret of happiness. I mentioned, and I keep repeating it, they looked at lottery winners, those who have won more than $1 million. And yes, there are a few months after you win big money, there are a few months when you're happier. But then you return to a base level of happiness, which they had before winning the lottery. So, in other words, there is something there, but that's not the secret.